I just want to know from you, is the continued drone missile barrage shifting this conflict into a longer or more destructive phase, and what could be the long term consequences for regional stability in areas like Europe?
Thank you so much for the question. I want to bring in what I have latest regarding the Russian side. Vladimir Putin and his administration seems to be in a position to take a specific city in the eastern flank of Ukraine, specifically the Donbas region. Vladimir Putin recently had said that he would use all military force possible to take this region at large. So that is the recent developments that I have. But ever since the starting of this war, we have seen how Ukraine is continuously losing much of its land, much of its people. And of course, over the war of now 3.5 years, we've seen numerous deaths, not only in the Ukrainian side, but also in the Russian side. So once again, bolstering ties between Russia and its allies. Today, I had to call it as Russia and its allies, because this is the very same term that we used back in the day. At the end of the World War II, it was the US and the allies. So right now, Russia's economic and defense ties between Russia and India have stepped up. Before it was military trade, now it's joint production of military hardware. So that's the development that they have shared. And beforehand, we've seen Donald Trump reacting to the friendship between Russia and India. And at this moment, the leader of Russia had visited India in New Delhi in the house and the Hyderabad house, and they talked about the various differences that they face in a new stage of geopolitics. But as of the war field, the Donbas region seems to be the target of Vladimir Putin.
If someone wants to play or lead the national team, he has to win in the local team. If someone wants to lead in the international game, he has to win in the national team. India loses all its neighbor, including Bangladesh, Nepal, Bhutan, Maldives, Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Pakistan. But as per Sir John Dalton, India is trying to be a global player. How come? Is it realistic, or this is a dream or efforts?
Thank you for the question. I really enjoy Sir Dalton's breakdown of how he sees this Russia and India partnership or friendship. And as I was saying, Donald Trump had raised the tariff up until 50% last time during the BRICS summit, if I'm not wrong. And what happened was that India's exports was hit quite so heavily. This time around, however, India is trying to be a player in the global geopolitical arena. And India and Russia's friendship only will keep one country at bay, one country in check. And of course, I am talking about China. Similarly, if you look at Emmanuel Macron's visit to China, it is to remember that China and Russia are close neighboring countries. One of them are just beyond the border with each other. So the meeting between Emmanuel Macron and Xi Jinping also signifies to keeping neighbors in check. So that is the geopolitical scenario. But of course, the State Department, as Mr. Dalton was saying, will of course have a rebuttal in the case of the friendship between India and of course Russia.
I just want to take your opinion on this. Between Vladimir Putin and Narendra Modi, this Gita diplomacy, this trade diplomacy, this world diplomacy and Darjeeling tea diplomacy may not work, because European Union, NATO and United States took a strategy. They will go slow to deal Russia, because Vladimir Putin will not be able to lead the Russia 100 years. One day Vladimir Putin has to go or has to die. Somebody will come. That time European Union, NATO and United States will take over.
Thanks for passing me the question. Of course, Vladimir Putin must create a successor to his Kremlin regime, and he's been in power for over a decade or so, and he does have background of being a KGB agent as well. So he has served the nation's military intelligence. That's the leader of Russia. So of course, he must think of a successor in the future. But if you look at the Indian part of however it happened, it's important for us as a neighboring country to India as well to understand this dynamic between Russia and India, given that they have had numerous run-ins of in our history as well. But one thing that I have picked out, and I regard that this is a matter of huge importance, is that every nation is doing their best to keep check and balance. They're doing some kind of counter rhetoric to make sure that this year can end and we can proceed on to a new year. Of course, the month of Christmas is upon us, is December, and people are looking forward to a much cool down of the war fronts and understanding between the nations. But as of recent, Russia's diplomacy with India is a matter to be noted by the Western powers.
Israel is every day attacking to Lebanon, South Lebanon and Gaza. So, what is the conditions were in the ceasefire? Because Israel is doing its job, and some commentators are assuming that Hezbollah, Hamas, Houthi, Iraqi militias, Syrian militias may be united to again by the support of Iran regime to go for a massive attack on Israel, and that will be the last hit. These are the comments from different commentators. I don't have any solid evidence in the international media.
Well, thanking you once again for bringing me on to this issue. I know that the runtime of this program has been almost 7 months, and in this 7 months we have seen this specific issue regarding the Israeli genocide into the Gazan people, and how the death toll has taken a climb from 0 deaths all the way up until 75,000 those who have been killed or murdered. And of course, as of recent, the peace plan, the Sharm el-Sheikh declaration, and all of these combined efforts could still not get the Israeli withdrawal. I was hearing how you were questioning me about the Israeli withdrawal. I believe that would be the dream of the Palestinians if they would actually withdraw from these locations. As of recent, we've seen almost 6 Palestinians killed despite having this ceasefire, and of course in the last 50 days of the ceasefire, almost over 300 people and 300 Palestinians have been murdered. And as per your question, how the regional players are also taking Israel at a large, well, over 80 years ago, Tel Aviv was a desert. There was nothing there, and so the creation of the modern Israel had come about. Well, if you look at Syria, if you look at Lebanon, even in Lebanon they had killed and murdered a couple of days ago a Hezbollah leader, breaking a ceasefire with the Lebanese authorities as well. So they do not understand the language of what a ceasefire can do. As of recent, we see the Qatari Prime Minister Sheikh Mohammed bin Abdul Rahman Jassim Al Thani speaking at a Doha forum, and he was one of the leader of one of the nations that were seen as a mediating nation across from Egypt. And what was going on is because of the strike on Doha, it sent ripples across multiple communities. We knew that Qatari news channel and media agency Al Jazeera was banned from direct reporting into that place, and the Israelis have made sure that to keep them out, no matter what are the means necessary. So the hostilities are not new. These have been continuous in the last couple of weeks, and even because of a ceasefire, maybe the drasticness of the deaths have gone down, but the deaths are still happening. There is no full stop. There is no end that I see that is happening. Even after mediating nations are taking to storm on social media and television screens, that Israel has way past its limit.
Sir, then why, according to your statement, may I ask you, why you call it an active ceasefire?
United States have jumped in regarding Gaza and the future of Gaza. Nowhere it is mentioned of the determination of the Palestinians. And you were asking me whether there would be a renewed tension between Iran and Israel. Look, 403 kilograms of enriched uranium was good enough to scare the United States and Israel. What and where, how, and how Iran will respond to destroying its nuclear facilities is a time-ticking bomb for Israel and United States. They will come back with a retaliation, but whether it will be now or a couple of months from now is the question.
Now, war is a very lucrative, profitable, dynamic business. Peace is not a business. I am sure I have seen the expression of our international affairs commentator Shamsul Pantho, and also very experienced personality, my very favorite John Charles Dalton. I want to get the same comment from both of them, if they agree or disagree. Shamsul Pantho first.
Well, thank you for passing it to me. I want to relate to what Norman Floyd Barnes was telling us and also our viewers. A popular hard rock metal band Megadeth, and one of their album name is called Peace Sells, but who's buying? We come back to the issue of war and how these military companies are expanding their capacity to create more, and the entire fact of how technology and innovation are playing a key role in military advancement of both software and as well as hardware. These are quite important, as the title suggests. No one wants to accept in a peace or a world peace, but it is not lucrative as much as it would be if everyone was in a state of war. So once again, I would want to say that peace sells, but nobody is wanting to purchase that.